G'day guys, Paulie from Get Going, back out on the trail. Looking up a ridgeline this weekend to a place I came to about 2 or 3 years ago. I was coming down across this ridgeline, came to a big gap in the trees looking out over a big valley, and I thought to myself, wouldn't that be a spectacular place to camp? So the idea this weekend is to backtrack back up to that place and find it, and pitch a tent for the night, or a tarp I should say. Once again, we've got the little hoochie tarp. We've also brought a warmer sleeping bag. Travelling light from a food point of view, I'm going to try something that I haven't tried for a long time. I've been getting a bit of flack in the DMs, on the socials and so forth, about cooking and what people take on hikes and so forth. I have to excuse the huffing and puffing. So anyway, we've got to carry a lot more water, of course, because we're going up to the top of essentially a mountain and a ridge. So join me on this trek and we'll see how we get on. Well, there's been a lot of bush bashing. This track is not well maintained at all. There's a couple of times where I've had to actually just pull over, have a look at the map, try and work out where we are, try and get back on track. I'm on a bit of a trail at the moment, so hopefully not too far from camp, or where we want to camp for the night. But luckily the weather's holding up beautifully. It's nice and cool, a bit steamy of course in here, but nonetheless a great adventure. And this is why we do it. How good is this view? That is just epic. Fantastic. 2:30 in the afternoon. So we've got plenty of time to find ourselves a nice little spot. As I said, put the hoochie tarp up, have a bite to eat, and relax and enjoy the view. So I've set the bedroom up with a little tarp here against this log. The idea is that log's going to give you a bit of protection from the wind overnight. The wind's coming in through this way. So we've got the sleeping bag sitting there, the Trek TK 64 plus loft, Cedar Summit. That should be nice and cozy tonight. So we're just waiting for the sun to go down, we'll make some dinner, and then we'll settle the bed up, get all that sleeping bag out flat and lofted, and we'll be beautiful and warm for the night. So for today's drinking pleasure we have some Boat Rocker Stout, smooth and malty. Sounded particularly nice, so I'll have to give it a try, I think. Cheers. It's good, not bad at all. Well, I have to tell you I'm pretty tired after that haul up through the jungle. It's, as I said earlier, I was off track a few times and that was pretty frustrating. Sort of bashing through scrub and tripping over vines and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, not the best fun as far as hiking goes, but well worth it when you get to a view like this. So for me it's time for some cheese. We'll have some salami as well and some stout. Watch the sun go down. So for the last week or so since I put out that last video, I've been getting a few DMs on my socials and so forth, and people saying, look, when was the last time you tried dehydrated food? And I said, look, be honest, it's at least 20 plus years. So they said, well, it's come a long way, you really should try it again. So I dug out a packet of dehydrated food. This one's a beef bourguignon from the Outdoor Gourmet Company, and someone recommended this to me, said this one's actually a particularly nice one because there's 2 sachets, there's the actual main meal and potato as well. So I thought, all right, I'll give it a try. I keep giving everyone a bit of flack about the fact that they're cooking this stuff when they go hiking and they should be cooking fresh food, but I thought, let's give it a try to see how bad it is. Given the single day army rations were very, very good, but they were a meal ready to eat type format for the actual main meal itself, not the rest of it. I thought we should give this at least a try anyway and see what we think. I do get it, particularly as I said, if you're doing multiple night hikes and so forth, I do get that this sort of thing really comes into its own. I want to do the Larapinta Trail, which is in the Northern Territory, over the next few years, and that's when this sort of stuff will probably come into its own, I'll be honest. So, but for single nights, I still prefer fresh food. So anyway, we're going to wait for this fire to die down, I should say. We might freshen up the beer, the stout, and wait for this to burn down, and then we'll boil up some water and we'll see how we get on with it. All right. Aha. Mashed potato. That is the same stuff that I had in the army ration pack, so that is beautiful. Happy with that. And we've got ourselves a nice little meal here. All right, we'll seal this up, leave for 10 minutes. All right, let's try this thing out. Probably a little bit too much water, it's very stewy. I might add a bit of potato to it, sticking it up. Ooh, smoky. Not too bad. Very sweet. A little bit of salt and pepper. It's usually the way of things these days, unfortunately. Everything becomes very, very sweet. You can certainly live off it. That's better. Yeah, look, they really haven't improved that much, I'll be honest. It's okay. As I said, I'd use it on a longer, multi-day hike or something like that. It'd be fine, but on a normal overnight hike, absolutely not. Once again, the potato is good. I think I needed more water in the potato and less in the actual main meal might have helped, but all good. Look, I'll be honest, it wasn't very nice. As I said, you could probably live on it, but geez, I don't know why you would. I'm sure there's better brands out there maybe, have better food and so forth. I've heard of another brand, On Track, which makes ready-to-eat ones, which I think, as I said, are substantially better than that one, that's for sure. That's pretty ordinary. So yeah, not my thing. Sorry guys, not my thing. I would rather have the beef stroganoff I had last weekend. It was about 5,000% better. There's just no comparison, there really isn't. But anyway, you got to try these things and we will know for the future. So the reason I've ended up on this ridgeline this weekend, a couple of reasons. One, as I said on the way up, I've hiked over this particular ridgeline, this range, 2 or 3 years ago. Ended up coming back through this way and then back down that ridge. And at night time, got lost, bush bashed. I was substantially or very, very dehydrated and absolutely flogged myself down that ridgeline. It was just shocking. I was falling over all over the place. I came out covered in black ash and soot. I looked like I'd been through the bloody war. It was just hopeless. So absolutely disgraceful. But I did remember this particular camp spot, or this particular ridgeline. I thought, well, let's just go up to this one and then we'll go back down again tomorrow. And at least we'll have somewhere with a view today to enjoy, and tomorrow morning obviously. And look, I always enjoy camping on ridgelines, as I've said. So, but the other thing that came into it was I got home last weekend. I thought, why aren't these bass biting? There's something going on here that I'm forgetting or missing. So once again, got the research hat on, jumped onto YouTube and other places like that, and discovered that it was spawning season for the bass. So the bass and the bream in Australia all spawn in July, August, and they will head out to estuaries and so forth. And at the estuaries you can't actually fish for them at all, they're protected. But in the rivers and impoundments and so forth, they'll typically head to rock walls or downstream and away from the areas that you're trying to fish and so forth. So me going upstream was a waste of time, really, to be honest. I think all I was seeing up there was really just the little small guys, so big and so forth. The big ones are all down looking to spawn and so forth. So I thought, all right, that's great. If we're not fishing, what else can we do? And that's when as I said, I went through a few of my old trip notes and so forth and remembered this spot, and I thought, well, I'll give it a go. The only probably negative I'd say tonight is it's blowing a gale. I dropped down before, I unzipped the jacket, it was lovely and warm, but unfortunately now it's back up swirling around, blowing a gale. So hence I've got the little hoochie tarp pulled up over a log just to give me a bit of protection from the wind. And this little fire, and the fire pit was here by the way when I got here, is also up against the log just to give it a bit of protection. So, and I think that's also causing this the swirling around of the wind and the fire here. So all good, cannot complain. A very nice night to be getting out camping. Always great in the winter time in Queensland. It's very, very cold tonight. I think it's down to about 5 degrees Celsius, which is cold for subtropics once again. And so yeah, just really nice to get out on an evening like this. Well, the final order of business. A big thank you to all those who watched my last video, who subscribed to my last video. I've had over 100 subscriber uptake, so welcome to my channel, guys. Really appreciate the support. Lots of views, lots of subscribers, and lots of likes, so thank you. The odd comment as well, which is always appreciated. So yeah, looking forward to having you along for my journeys over the next few months. We'll come to the springtime here in Australia very soon, so that's going to be awesome. We'll get on the bass again, and we're going to dust off the canoe, get up some estuaries, and right up into some river systems and so forth, and chase some bream and bass as well in those systems, and see if we can't do a catch and cook as well. So that'll be awesome. Just letting this fire die down now. That wind whirls up and blows all the sparks everywhere, so I just want this thing to be pretty much all but out before I go to bed. So hence I just put a couple of little tiny sticks on before, but that's I think it for the night. We'll leave this firewood for the next person. We won't bother with the fire in the morning. I'll just use a little army stove and we'll make some breakfast with that, coffee at least, and make sure that we've got a nice tidy camp before we leave in the morning as well. We're going to have this cup of tea and a bicky that my beautiful daughter Evelyn made me. Absolutely cracking. I'll see you good folk in the morning. Ooh, that is yummy. Good morning, folks. Well, it was a windy and blustery old night. Probably got down to about 3 degrees, I reckon. It was absolutely arctic. I was cocooned in my sleeping bag, so there was only about a hole about that big to breathe out of. It was arctic. Unfortunately, this wind just blew a gale all night, and yeah, unfortunately made for a very, very cold night, but it's all good. We've got a nice sunny morning this morning. The wind is still blowing pretty hard. I had ideas of going up this ridge line and around to another spur, if you like, or cliff face, but I think we might give that a miss. It's a bit too overgrown once you get into the jungle. There's a lot of fallen timber and so forth, and I went off track about 3 or 4 times yesterday just coming up, as I said. So I think the order of the day might be finish this coffee, enjoy this view. We'll do a bit more exploring around this little area on here now, and then we'll finally pack up and we'll just wander home. That'll give me plenty of time to get back down the mountain, find the track as I go down, and we won't be in any hurry to get back to the car or anything, which will be nice. We can just take it nice and easy, which will be great. So, but right now, of course, I get to enjoy this coffee with this view. It is spectacular. all packed up. I've had a couple of questions about why I bother carrying a saw around with me when I go camping and hiking particularly. As one person said, you know, you can just use aluminium pegs, mate. Why are you bothering cutting up your own pegs and all that sort of business? Well, true, very, very true. They are much lighter than this thing, that's for sure. But there's a few uses for this that people don't even think about. So one is this particular camp, right? So if I'm having a camp on a river somewhere, or a lake or so forth, or even an estuary where there's lots of room around me and so forth, I can just drag up logs and make a fire with that. No problem at all. But if you also want to cook on a fire, and if you want to have a fire in a little small place like I have just here beside me, then you really need to be able to cut the timber up into pieces like this. Makes it far more manageable, makes it easier to make pot stands, put actual frying pans and pots on and so forth, and works a hell of a lot better than just trying to get some bigger logs and pulling them all around. The other value of this though, yesterday in particular, was cleaning up the track. There was a lot of fallen trees. There was a tree there about 100 mil diameter, straight across the track in front of everyone, and everyone's trying to then bush bash around it. And I was just able to whip the saw out, cut it out in the middle, pull it out the way, track's clear again. That's really valuable. So I did a bit of track clearing yesterday on the way up, just to try and make it a little bit easier for those following me. And as I said, I found it invaluable, and it doesn't weigh a lot, to be honest. It's pretty lightweight, folds up nice and small, just sits on the outside of the pack here, and we're all good. So we were all packed up and ready to go. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. Absolute cracking camp spot. I wouldn't mind coming back up again with a bit more time though. I got up here about lunchtime yesterday. I really should have got here a lot earlier. And once again, doing a lot more track clearing. There's a lot of areas where you almost needed secateurs to cut down vines and so forth as well as trees, and then I could have just plotted up clearing the track as I go, and also put in some pink markers and ribbon on certain trees and so forth. Now I know there's arguments for and against, you know, the pink ribbons and all that sort of stuff. It detracts from the look of the place. Not really. You know, you get to a camp spot like this, you haven't got pink ribbons everywhere, and it's just the occasional tree. If you can imagine, a lot of people come up here for sunsets and so forth, and they're going back down that ridge line in the dark. They would be very, very excited to see some pink ribbons, just to keep them on track. Because as I said, these tracks get overgrown. They're not maintained by the rangers at all. And I think that'd be quite valuable as well. Anywho, thank you for joining me on this week. I hope you enjoyed the adventure. I certainly did. Cracking camp spot, as I said. The meal, terrible. Won't do that again, not unless I have to. Would never go back to those meals again. They were no better than what they were 20 years ago. Just terrible. But each to their own, as I say. If you guys enjoy them, if you found a brand that you like, let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to try more. I never stop doing these things. I'll try anything. So if you know of any other brands of meals, dehydrated meals, then happy to try them out, guys. But that one was absolutely terrible. Anywho, I'll see you all in a fortnight's time. Bye for now.